Is there a way to train to run faster with all that no gain without pain shit? Stay tuned and let me give you the 3 rules to run faster without getting injured. Hi, Sherpa Herb here. I'm an online running coach exclusively for runners over 50, and I'm also the founder of the Forever Runner Method. This is video 5 of my 9-part series on the 9 steps to be a forever runner as part of my Forever Runner Method training. So in this video, we'll talk about building, and this is to build on what you might have learned in the last video, number 4, which was jog. So I'll put a link up above to that, but basically in that video, I explained the benefits of low heart rate training, how to calculate your Maffetone training style, MAF heart rate, and kind of went through the progression steps that you'll experience doing this type of training. So in this video, now that you know that, how do you go out and use that in your training? Well, I'll go through the three rules right now. So rule number 1 is from now on, and that's at least for the next 3 months, you would do all of your runs at or below your calculated MAF heart rate. So if that heart rate was 124 beats per minute, then every run you go on, during that run, you want to stay at or below that heart rate. So what happens if you can't? So if you're running along the flats and that works out just fine, then you come to a hill and your heart rate jacks up, then it's time to walk. If you're going along the flats and your heart rate slowly goes up above that mark, then it's time to walk. And you walk until your heart rate drops probably about 10 beats, and then you can start running again. And of course, if you're going up a hill, you'll probably have to basically hike up the hill until you get to the top, and then you can continue on your running. So the idea is to be fairly strict about this, and as you go through the phases of building your aerobic capacity, you'll notice some of those slight hills where you used to have to walk, that you can easily run up them and stay underneath your calculated MAF heart rate, and that you won't have the problems on the flats on your long runs or anything like that. So this is a long process, and it can take several weeks before you start getting comfortable about it. And I think in the last video, I included my video on how to run slow. So a big part of this is having an efficient stride as you're running slow, so that you're not jacking your heart rate up because you have poor running form. The other part of this is from way back in the first 3 videos in this series, was converting from a carb-dependent metabolism to a fat-burning metabolism is very important, because you are now in a low heart rate training mode, which derives all the energy from your aerobic system, which is fueled by burning body fat. So all these things work together to make this work. So it's it's very important to keep keep that heart rate at or below that mark all the time during your runs. So it's not at the end of the run that your average was at, because you're at 140 for a while and 110 for a while. It's always staying at or below that mark the whole time during your run. So the second rule is you you need for this training type of training to work, you need a higher frequency of running. That is, you need to run more times during the week than maybe you might be used to. I recommend at least 4 or 5 times a week. You don't have to run very far, but it's that frequency is more important than just doing 3 longer runs a week. It's more important to do 4 or 5 shorter runs per week. You don't need to run 7 days a week. I don't think anyone really should. If you want to run 5 or 6 days a week, that's great. But if you're not already doing that, then now's a good time to kind of chop that up and get some more frequency in. And as part of that week, you want to make one run your long run. So what that should be is that long run should be about 1.5 to 2 times longer than what your normal training run is. So it's important to start incorporating this weekly long run into your training at the get-go, because this is where you'll get a lot of the adaptive adaptations to your mitochondria and energy systems in this aerobic building type of training. So if you're used to running 5 miles on a daily basis, then your long run would be 8 to 10 miles on the weekend. And the other thing, once you get comfortable with this, since you're running at a low pace, low heart rate, it doesn't hurt to bump the weekly mileage up. The old 10% rule, you can always follow that. But if you're you want to get your mileage up, if you can get up to like 20 miles a week, that would be great. You don't have to go there, but the main thing is to put that frequency in there, and get out the door more times a week than you might be doing right now. And that'll help this process go quicker for you and build up that aerobic engine that's what we're trying to do. So the third rule is to do your runs fasted. So a lot of us run in the mornings, some of us run in the afternoons, some of us run in the evenings. So it's fairly simple. If you're a morning runner, you get up, have your cup of coffee, drink some water or whatever, get out the door and do your run. What you don't want to do is eat a banana, eat a bagel, eat anything. You don't want to add a bunch of sugary creamer or something into your coffee just before you run. And if you run at noon, do your run first and then have your lunch afterwards. And in the evening, the same thing, get your run in and then eat afterwards. So the reason for this is first of all, you don't need to take in energy uh, before you go out on your run. I think you're all well aware you've got about 2 hours of stored glycogen uh, uh, in your bodies pretty much basically all the time. So you already have that fast burn fuel in your body already. And the other part, if you're been working on getting fat adapted, you basically have an unlimited supply of energy from your body fat. So what will happen is if you eat that bagel or banana or a bowl of oatmeal before your run, what you're going to do is you're going to spike your insulin. And what that's going to do, that's going to inhibit your fat burning ability right off the get-go. So it'll spike up. So when you first start your run, you're going to be more dependent on burning that glycogen than burning your stored body fat. So you want to get into the habit, no matter when you run, is at least give time for things to digest, 2 or 3 hours from your last meal before you do your run, so that you don't have that little insulin spike that just puts you right into that insulin shock and that carbohydrate cycle that's going to inhibit your fat burning ability. That defeats the whole purpose of doing this low heart rate training that builds your aerobic capacity and your fat burning at the same time. So that's the 3 rules. Number 1, do all your runs at or below your calculated MAF heart rate. It's not an average. It always stay below that number. Number 2, increase your frequency of runs, if possible, to 4, 5, or even 6 times a week, and always incorporate a long run, which is 1.5 to 2 times longer than one of your normal runs. And slowly you should be able to up your weekly mileage if you desire also. And then the third thing is do all your runs fasted. And that is, don't eat just prior to a run. Wait, if you are eating, wait 2 or 3 hours before you go out and do your run, so that you're not getting that insulin spike and inhibiting your fat burning. So that's step number 5 of the build phase of the Forever Runner system. If you're interested in how all this works, subscribe to my channel. Every week I'm putting out another one of these. We're going to go through all 9 steps. If you want some more information, you can go in the description and click on my link to my website, and there you can get a guide and some video training specifically on the Forever Runner method. And there's a way you can book a session if you want to talk about this. So see you in the next one. Goodbye for now.